Just waiting for Catherine to join us here. She was always there. There's Catherine.
There is Catherine. Hello.
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
Oh, good morning. I'm enjoying a really beautiful, beautiful sunrise here.
Oh, lucky you. We are having a
Yeah.
lot of rain here in a nice deep soaking rain, as I was saying a moment ago, in Toronto here. It's just a penetrating rain, but it was
Oh,
really, really dry. But it was beautiful
we
yesterday.
sort of we reversed our weather patterns then. We've been raining all week, but we finally this was perfectly timed. It's a nice crisp morning. There's frost on the ground everywhere, and we can just see Mount Baker. I'll show you in a second. It's just silhouetted against the rising sun. It's really pretty out here.
That that sounds amazing. And I heard you have a great weather forecast for the coming week too.
We do. Yeah, the cherry blossoms are out in full force. Spring is here.
Excellent. And if you've just joined us, if you weren't listening, Catherine is, I'm in Toronto, and Catherine is calling us from just around the Vancouver area. I'm not sure if you're at Boundary Bay or Delta or where exactly, but you're definitely on the Pacific coast. You're on the other side of Canada from us, pretty much. And
Yeah, sun is just rising here. It's about 6:15 here in the morning, so we had a nice early
yeah,
start today.
yeah,
We're here in Boundary Bay, so actually what you're going to be looking out at, this bay, the border between the U.S. and Canada cuts right through the bay. The 49th parallel cuts right through the bay
yeah,
here, which is why it's called the Boundary Bay. So you'll see the land that you'll be seeing on the other side is actually the United States.
yeah. So what are you doing this morning? Can you remind me?
We're out doing a coastal waterbird survey. So we are out here counting all the birds that winter along the BC coast. So this is one of our long-term programs for Birds Canada. We've been doing this since 1990, so it's 30 years of counts out here now. And a lot of the birds that winter up that summer up in the Canadian Arctic, they winter here. So as you might have heard, birds fly south for the winter. For a lot of our really northern birds, this is south. And so this is one of the surveys that we run throughout the winter. So this is actually our last survey of the year here in April. And all of the birds will be leaving to go back to their breeding grounds soon. But we come out once a month, and volunteers across BC do this. They come out and they take a walk on the beach and they count all the birds that they can see that are along the coast.
So what is it? What are we expecting to see, or do you have any hints so far of what we're expecting to see this morning?
Yeah, so this morning we've got a nice flock of about 500 or so black-bellied plovers that are in front of me here, just feeding along the tide line, and about half that many dunlins. So this is a mudflat habitat here where we are at the moment. But the Coastal Waterbird Survey covers salt marsh and some offshore habitats and Gulf Islands, all different habitats across the Salish Sea. But this one, we get a lot of shorebirds hanging out. So these guys are out here feeding on polychaetes and small invertebrates, and they follow the tide line out. So they are nicely grouped right in front of me. I'll be able to show you them in a minute.
Yeah. And so,
And then I have my,
oh, oh yes,
well, I
I
have
was
my
just going to ask.
colleague here, Graham.
Oh yeah, Graham Sorenson. Hi, Graham.
So Graham is the coordinator of the Coastal Waterbird Survey, and while I'm chatting with you guys, he's in the background there counting all of these birds as our data points. So,
Excellent.
and we can get
And go ahead.
we can get really big flocks. So you have to be a pretty skilled counter to be a coastal waterbird surveyor. Sometimes the
Okay.
flocks out here, it's not thousand, it's like could be 60,000 dunlin in a flock sometimes. You can get very, very large flocks. And there's special methods that we have of counting with the scope to be able to count those big numbers. We see a lot of birds wintering off the coast here.
Excellent. And so the reason I mean, this is maybe an ungodly hour for some of our followers, to get up and go on Instagram Live. But there's a reason we're doing this at right now. Like for you, it was 6:15 when you started. Why is that?
It's an ungodly hour for me too, don't you worry. We time the survey around the tide. So this mudflat is a really flat plain, and at low tide, the tide line is kilometers and kilometers out. So it goes way, way, way out. So to count these birds along the shore, we come out at the high tide mark, so that pushes all the birds closer into shore where we can identify them and count them more easily. So instead of doing, a survey at the exact same time every month, we time it around the tides, which is sort of a different way of birding out here. You can sometimes go birding at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's great birding because the tide is high. So you don't always have to get up at this ungodly hour.
Well, that's good. Good for you. It's just a one-time thing. Well, we feel we definitely feel lucky that we caught you on this last survey of your season, and so the hour
start up again in September.
Yeah, excellent. So what are we going to
You want to see some birds?
Oh, we'd love to see some birds. Yes.
So you guys are actually attached to our scope at the moment. So we've got a little digiscope set up, which is really cool. So my camera is actually facing out. I'm going to turn you around, and then you'll be able to see what I see through the scope here. So you'll have to forgive me for 2 seconds as I just toggle you a bit. You got a little shimmied while I was talking there.
Sorry.
Okay.
Was it you, or was it I who was animated to excited? Oh, there we go.
Okay, now let me see. We have our little flock. We had a nice little flock of black bellies that were close here, but they seem to have moved on. Graham, are all of our black bellies further out at the moment? Okay. They've all started, so there's the tide line there.
Oh, yes.
And here is our group of black-bellied plovers.
Yes.
And you can see the little ones in front there running very, very quick. They remind you sort of the Piper video. These guys are the Dunlin running around. And then those larger guys are the black-bellied plovers. And you can see the Dunlin are sort of pursuit feeders as well. So they'll run around and try and catch something unawares. And they'll also feed on biofilm. So a little bit less at this time of year. As you move a little bit warmer, you'll start getting these biofilm mats. So these little tiny diatoms grow on these mud flats, and they produce fatty acids. So you know how everybody says that fish is really good for you, and the oils in fish are very good for you? These shorebirds, they don't eat fish. They bypass that, and they eat the actual diatoms that provide those rich fatty acids, and that's one of the things that helps fuel their long migrations. So these guys will be slurping up little bits of chunks of the mud. Oh, got some snow geese flying over. Let's see if we can... Okay.
We're getting them there. Yeah, we're getting live play by play. We caught it. Oh yeah, there they are. Oh, nice.
There they are.
Oh, yeah, white birds with black wingtips there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
That was some. Yeah, we have another Arctic breeder that's here, just on its way north.
Yeah. So are these? So right now, I mean, are we really at the tail end? I mean, this is your last survey. Are these birds just about to leave, or is there anything kind of in the north that's holding them back for now, or are they?
They'll start emptying out by the end of April. So we get the really big peak of shorebirds move through at the end of April. And then after that, we don't see many shorebirds here until around June and July, when some of them start coming back through. Yeah. So we get a really big peak the last week of April, because then we have the Dunlin who winter here, and they'll be heading out. So those ones, they've actually segregated nicely. The Dunlin are over to the right here.
Yeah, the smaller ones there.
There you go.
The ones that are running.
Dunlin. The ones that are running, yeah. So they spend all winter here, but western sandpiper, almost the entire population of that species comes through here in the spring. And we can have days where we count 400,000 of them in one location. So big influx of birds.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool that you mentioned western sandpiper, because I think I've seen more western sandpipers in the Galapagos than I've seen anywhere else. And that tells you,
that's amazing.
First of all, that tells you how much I spend visiting British Columbia at the peak time, which is never. But I've seen them there. But it's just funny to think that you just said that the entire population, almost the entire population, comes through, there. That the birds that I saw in the Galapagos, and that some of our travelers have seen there, are actually going right where you are right now. And
We've probably seen the same
we've
birds.
seen
And
the
you know what,
same birds. That's amazing.
that makes me even more excited to go to the Galapagos with you guys this year too, because those are, I don't like to be possessive, but those are my birds, right? Like this is where I like spend my time. This is where I live. I've done a lot of research on Western sandpipers and published a couple papers on Western sandpipers.
Yeah.
So it's very, very exciting to get to see them throughout their entire life cycle.
Yes, that's amazing. We're catching a little bit of a glimpse of the the crowns of the trees there. Catherine, are you able to show us a zoomed out view, or maybe a pan of like the mountains? Yes. What are we looking at here?
So this is Mount Baker, which
Okay.
is the tallest mountain in Washington, or one of the tallest mountains in Washington. The second tallest mountain in Washington, Graham informs me.
Oh, yes.
So this is, yes. So we're looking at Washington State here. And then I can pan this way for you.
Nice.
So you'll start to see these are the coastal mountains of BC. So looking
Okay.
up the valley, the Fraser Valley here.
Okay. So Boundary Bay is on the south side of the Fraser River Delta. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Just trying to position there. Well, that's a beautiful
I don't know
sky,
if you
too.
can. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear. There's some loons calling in the background here, which is very, very nice. I would love to get you.
I don't, but I don't hear the loons, but that
My
looks.
headset might be too good at noise canceling.
Your noise canceling earphones. Is that it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's looks like a great place to be. So, what is our count? What is Graham saying that your count is at the moment? Is he able to give you an update?
Have you seen any others? We've got a couple ducks out here.
Yeah.
We were at 430 black-bellied plovers and about 200 dunlin at this spot, and then we'll actually pick up the scopes and walk a little bit further. So it's actually a transect. It's a walk along the beach, really.
Yeah.
This survey, and then count as we go.
Yeah.
You can see just way in the background there. You can see like that's the outline of Vancouver Island that you're looking at there in the background.
Yeah, that looks great. I can see sort of the shimmering on the water there. Well, this is fun.
I got one more for you. Whenever you see a lump in the distance here.
Oh yes, hot. Could that be what I think it is?
It's probably what you think it is. What do you think it is, Justin?
I think it's a large raptor.
It is indeed. Any guesses as to the species of that one?
Okay, wait. Anyone who's following, does anyone who's following want to guess, want to identify that bird based on its shape? It's a large raptor, clue number one. Type it into the comments. Type it into the comments. Don't be shy.
And this is what they love to do. They love to just like sit out on these tidal flats, and they'll often wait for something to be unawares, and then they'll start taking off, and all of the shorebirds will just scatter.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to identify what other clue can we give, Catherine?
Well, I can tell you that it's a young one, so you might be thinking that it doesn't look quite like the adult,
Yes.
but it's missing the key feature that the adult usually has, but this one's a young one. They don't get that key feature until they're 3 years old.
Yeah. Okay, and the key feature would be?
Key feature would be a bright white head.
White head and a white tail.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anyone? I see one answer from L'Oreal saying osprey. Yeah. Cool.
It's a bit bigger than an osprey, but you're in the.
It's bigger than an osprey. I'll put another clue that it sometimes steals fish from osprey.
Mm-hmm. True. Out here, they'll be hunting ducks.
Yes, and tailored pants and J Smitty 0413 and wildlife hobbyists are all saying bald. They're all saying bald eagle. That would be correct, Catherine.
It's correct. Yeah, that's a bald eagle sitting out there. Yeah.
That's really fun. Awesome. Well, it's great.
And then I'll just show you.
Oh yeah.
I'll show you one last thing because the sun has officially broken the horizon here.
Wow. Okay. Don't look
And I
directly at the
thought you
sun,
might.
folks, but that's
We'll go.
good.
We'll go just to the side.
Yeah. And I just want to point out that Gavin Watson, who's I think he's calling us from St. John's, Newfoundland, shared a little Mount Baker factoid about that volcano. That Mount Baker is a stratovolcano, and the I guess it was the shape. Oh, look at that! Look at that murmuration. Oh, the shorebirds are flying. Our connection's a little bit.
That's the my phone trying to focus on this flock of shorebirds is.
But we get the idea. We're seeing what we were kind of, well, at least I was sort of, hoping to see that. That's fun.
Let's hope they keep moving this way.
Yeah. That'll make your count easier.
This is a big flock of Dunlin coming in.
Excellent.
Woo!
Whoa, swirling. Yep. That's fun.
That is fun. Now, can you imagine that if a peregrine came by?
If a peregrine falcon came by with designs on capturing one of them, that would be.
The peregrines love the taste of Dunlin.
Well, that's an interesting distinction that the Dunlins have, isn't it? That's fun. Well, that's good. So, Graham has. Do you have a number so far?
Graham is diligently, you can see here, Graham is diligently at his scope now that big group of Dunlin has come in, and he's counting furiously. So what he'll do is he'll actually count how many Dunlin is within a single. Oh, they're up. Sorry. Oh, swoop.
Oh.
Oop, 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 oop.
Oh, yes. Wow. Here we go. There's the Dunlin flying.
So he'll count how many Dunlin fit within a single view of his scope. And then he'll count how many circumferences of his scope the flock covers, and then he'll multiply those two together, and that's how he'll get a count. That's accurate to about 20%, so it's pretty decent accuracy to do a quick count, because they move, as you can see, they move so much. It's quite hard to get an accurate count if you do it one by one.
Yeah, that's early birders commenting, this is so fun. I agree. This is kind of fun. It's fun for...
There's a nice big thick chunk here. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, I mean it's kind of work for you, but this is fun for us to it's like we're joining you on the job here, Catherine.
Well, you also have to remember that work can be fun at the same time. Like, counting birds, guiding, looking for wildlife. This is not a bad job to have.
Yeah. It's a take a child to work day today.
And well, I mean, it's just you guys got really lucky too to have them like right here in front of us when we did the call, and to have this beautiful weather, and to be able to have this habitat as well in Canada that these guys all stop over.
Yeah.
You can see a little flock of what might be scoters in the background there.
Swimming there.
Yeah.
That's fun. So can you tell me just a bit more? I mean, you talked a bit about obviously the mudflats are important, and I guess I understand that in the Delta area or this general area, with almost the entire population of some birds coming through here and feeding on these are hugely important from a conservation standpoint too, right?
They are, they're incredibly important. It's entire species rely on this one delta. Like the Fraser River is a massive river that drains most of British Columbia. It all ends in the ocean here. It is one of the few mudflat habitats that exists along the Pacific Flyway. So the Pacific Flyway, the Pacific coast, tends to be fairly rocky in most areas, and it's here that you have these giant mudflats where all these birds feed. And so, yes, incredibly important for many different species. Oh, there they go. And, okay, sorry, I'm going to interrupt this momentarily for this massive...
Wow. That's...
So you can see there you have backs, and then if they bank, you'll see bellies. So you'll get these white flashes and black flashes.
Yeah. And these are the Dunlin.
These are Dunlin with,
Yeah, right. And so these are also going up to the sort of subarctic and Arctic tundra habitat?
There's their bellies there, yeah.
Yeah, oh, very nice.
Yeah, sorry, got distracted.
No, 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 no.
Oh, and they're
Yeah,
going back.
cool,
So they'll
cool. And they're
actually
going
use
back the
this
other way.
behavior to avoid, yeah, they'll use this behavior to avoid predators, and they're not necessarily coordinating as a group. Every bird is just paying attention to the bird on either side of it. And as one bird banks, the other bird follows it. And it's happening
Yeah,
so instantaneously that it looks like the flock is moving as one.
yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
but
Very
they're all
interesting.
just following a single individual.
So the bird at the
Yeah,
front
there's
has
some
a
really,
big, yeah. I
yeah.
was
Well,
good.
no bird wants to be on the edge, right?
Yes.
That's the trick. So you see the plovers in behind there. You can see how much bigger
Yep.
they are there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, so no bird wants to be too exposed in case you have a peregrine falcon that comes and swooshes through the flock.
Yeah. And there's
So
the
they're
eagle. Yeah.
just
The
there's
eagle's
the
still
eagle. They
there.
just landed. Yeah, they just landed on the far side of the eagle, so they're quite far away now. It gives you a little bit of an understanding of how big that flock is by looking at it from a bit further away. You can see it
Yeah.
goes
Oh, yeah.
all the way along here.
Sort of like grains or yeah, like they're sort of granular at the granular size now. They're so far, but you kind of get the idea
Yeah,
from that pattern across our screen there. We're just kind of
and then
smothering that.
to follow up on your question there
Yeah.
about the delta and its importance, so that, oh, is it going to focus? Maybe not. It's got a little heartbeat focus thing going on there. You can see that in the background is a major coal port
Okay.
and shipping
Yes.
port that exists here in the Delta. And one of the projects that we're involved in and that the Coastal Waterbird Survey has been involved in as well is they're hoping to double the size of that port. And it exists within an important bird area, and it exists right on these mudflat habitats they produce a lot of those biofilms that are really key to fueling migration, and they produce a lot of energy for all of these shorebirds that are moving through. So that's a project that the Coastal Waterbirds Survey has been instrumental in providing some information about the importance of these habitats and the birds that they support for the environmental assessment to determine whether that development can happen.
Yeah.
Um, for example, these Dunlin, the Coastal Waterbird Survey shows that they've declined by about 10% a year since 1998. So pretty significant declines of these species. And there's definitely merit in learning more and making sure that we have a good management plan in place for their habitats here in BC.
Excellent. Well, it's good to know that you're involved, that you're so dedicated to the conservation of these birds and the places that they need, obviously, to
Well,
survive.
and
Yeah.
not just me, right? This is a volunteer program, which is the coolest thing about it, right? These are citizen scientists. These are dedicated birders who just want to go out and have a beautiful day like this and count these amazing birds, and then also know that their data is contributing to conservation and research. So it's not really about me, right? This is a citizen science program. It's them that I really want to thank and highlight. And you can think
Yes.
of them doing this not just on a beautiful day in April, but perhaps on a rainy day in
Yeah.
January.
Yes.
They're very dedicated people.
So we salute the volunteers of the Birds Canada Coastal Waterbird Survey, who contribute. All of them contribute importantly to the conservation and to the monitoring of these species. Is there a way for anyone to get involved, or in terms of your current volunteer? Like if I live out in the Vancouver area, are you sort of looking for volunteers right now?
Yeah, always. There's always a lot of different programs. Even if you're not in Vancouver, Birds Canada has just going to be launching this spring the Breeding Bird Atlas in Ontario. So if you
Yes.
are a bird enthusiast or a nature enthusiast in Ontario, there's lots of ways to get involved there. Even just counting the birds in your backyard, that helps cover this area and lets us learn more about what's happening in the urban areas. And we have an urban bird program in Toronto. Out here in BC, we've got the Coastal Waterbird Waterbird survey, or if you're a little intimidated about the idea of counting, 10,000 Dunlin out there, we also have the beach bird survey where we're looking for dead birds on the beach. So it's very easy to identify which species you're finding.
They're not moving.
They're not moving. You can get up real close. And that program is really important for understanding oil spill response. One of the things that happened after the Exxon Valdez spill was there were some questions in the legal fallout about, well, are these birds that we're finding dead part of this environmental disaster, or is this just background death that happens in the environment? So the Beach Bird Survey tells us this baseline that we see in terms of mortality rate for these birds, and then after there is an oil spill, or we had an instance where we had a very poor production year in the ocean and we saw a lot more mortalities, gill net fishing and how opening and closure of fisheries increases or decreases mortality rate. So that's a really interesting program as well. That's a really nice beginner program. And then if you just like watching birds outside your window, Project Feeder Watch is a great one for anybody. If you have a bird feeder in your yard, you can count for 15 minutes and submit that data, and that goes into a database that is across all of North America and tells us a lot about those more common backyard birds.
Yeah, great. Well, you're a great spokesperson for Birds Canada's volunteer program. So I have to tell you that. I'll tell your bosses, Catherine, at Birds Canada, that exemplary employee. You're an exemplary employee, and we know you're an exemplary natural history tour leader, and of course you will be. I mean, we expect that in 2022 you'll be leading a couple of tours. One to Panama for alumni UBC, as well as our Antarctica full ship charter in October, November of 22. You'll be along with myself and some others for that. So it's great to...
Might see some shorebirds down there.
We might see some
always
shorebirds
possible.
Anywhere, I guess. So thank you so much, Catherine. And if any one of you just might have joined this late, we plan to be uploading this entire broadcast to our to the Worldwide Quest Travel IGTV site. It'll be actually on our Instagram, and you can link to it. Thank you so much, Catherine, for telling us.
I'll just give you one final look of those guys.
Oh, great!
Yeah, why not?
Yes.
There you go. Say goodbye.
Say goodbye. Annie Giddings was asking if we can enlarge the scope frame. I'm assuming Annie, you meant zoom in. I'm not sure if you can zoom in there.
Yeah, I can try with so usually I pinch, there we go.
There we go.
Good question, Annie. Very smart. So this new Digiscope tool, we just got it a couple days ago. It's our new toy, so I'm still learning a little bit. That's great. Yeah, good question.
And
so you can see these Dunlin have those little, you can see them doing that little sewing machine action into the mud as they probe. And you can see some of them have darker black bellies than others. They're just transitioning right now from their winter plumage to their breeding plumage. And in breeding plumage, they have these nice black bellies. That is, you can see some of them are getting some black feathers in their tummies. Yeah,
that's great. That's really fun.
Oh, look at them go. See, I can watch them all day.
Oh, yeah, well. Whoa, there's a nice blur of them. That's really fun, Catherine. So, well, I don't want to keep you from your work, but I do want to thank you, Catherine, so much for joining us and telling us more about it. And also thank you to Graham Sorenson, who's in the background there. I know he's helping count the birds. And watch for this video.
He's definitely full on the scopes. Graham, do you have a count of these Dunlin that have come in? Okay, we got about 15,000 Dunlin we had
15,000.
In this group. 15,000.
Can we zoom out just one last time to get a little bit of that? Yeah. All right.
So I'll give you a little pan of the 15,000. They're sort of spread out here.
Yeah.
So you have to think about how many invertebrates and diatoms it takes to support those 15,000 birds.
Yeah. Wow. That's keeps going on. It's like the Energizer Bunny.
You're good. It keeps going and going. We haven't even hit the eagle yet. There's the eagle.
Oh, there's the eagle. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess the eagle makes a useful landmark when you're scanning to count.
Exactly. So they go.
Are we sure it's a real eagle, not a block of wood?
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Yeah. It's a beautiful environment. If you ever do come to Vancouver, I do really recommend coming out to Boundary Bay or Roberts Bank or Iona. They're amazing mudflat habitats that support really, really cool birds.
Yeah.
One of the coolest places I've birded in Canada for sure.
Great.
Oh, there's an eagle flying in the background. Sorry, we could do this all day. There'll just be more cool things to see.
Was it right over the water, or was it? Yeah, I think I just caught a. Yeah.
It's
there it is.
Okay, it's far now.
Yeah, we can kind of sort of see it there. That's awesome. Well, thanks so much, Catherine. This has been amazing. Real-time birding from another location, like remotely. This is fun. So thanks, Catherine. Send my best to Graham, and to all of you who followed. Thank you so much for joining us. There's Catherine. And
hi guys.
and everyone, thanks you, Catherine. I'm sure we're really appreciative.
Oh, thanks to all of you guys. Hey, thanks for joining me. It's been cool to have company as we do this survey in the morning.
We'll have to figure out something else cool to do with you, Catherine, out in BC. We'll talk.
Oh, sure. I've got a couple ideas.
Oh, great.
Spring is here, right? Now's time.
Yeah. Excellent. Right. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Nice to see you,
Catherine.
Justin.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, likewise. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.